Welcome, Aries. Thank you for letting me read for you for your monthly reading during our Libra season coming up, which celebrates our relationships and all things beautiful and our ability to receive. We have your astro reading here, which is really designed coming out of the chakras readings that I do, where it's about the culmination of energy being centralized into one area in our center, and us really combining the powers of all of our chakras together into one singular inner sun that we use to radiate out into our environment. Rather than taking things from our environment, we become a source of energy to help our environment instead of feeding off of it. So I do have this set up to represent the houses of the Zodiac, which will start with the Aries, or the first house over here, and then work counterclockwise until we get to the Pisces house. Our center card really represents that idea of the inner sun, or a center heart that's leading our existence, that's in alignment with the will of the universe. So we'll take that as your theme for the month, and then just really whatever wants to appear out of these cards. You know, maybe a storyline will actually come through. It may be disjointed. I really have no idea, but I'm excited. Let's get into this and see what does want to come out. So your center card, I will actually read the message to you, but I am going to intuitively look here at it as well. So it's stating, within each of us there is a yin and a yang, feminine and masculine, passive and active. To have inner harmony, strive to balance all aspects of who you are, to align with your true nature. Love, accept, and embrace yourself totally and completely. Well, that's asking a lot of us, to fully align and balance everything, because we are so multifaceted. So let's see if there's anything easy that really wants to emerge here, something simple that we can take. So what I do get here is that you may be feeling just a lot of energy about wanting to get centered through this time, and I'm going to have to pick the cards up doing the reading here. I'm getting so much reflection off of this area. So I feel like there is kind of this desire to get lost in something simple, like your reflection in another person, seeing yourself in another person. And there is a sense here that there may be a significant amount of energy. You may be reading it kind of as chaos, not in a catastrophic way, but, you know, busyness, a lot of things going on, but yet you're able to focus in on what you find relevant, what you find important. And this may not be something that is found in another person. You know, this could be really anything that you are encountering and seeing yourself in. Yet it feels like your North Star, like something that's guiding you, something that could bring you that. And if it's not that, I am getting that you may be missing. This may be a distraction, and maybe you're actually missing your North Star. So maybe don't get too lost in another person. Yet what also could be coming through is that there is a North Star if there is another person, if you're connecting with someone or with a passion project, that it's guided by your North Star. So you may want to look where your North Star aspect is, your North Node in your birth chart, and visit that sign and any of the symbolic language and messages that could come through. So what I'm really getting here is like life purpose, and maybe this involves another person, but there's sort of like this whirlwind of activity around it. And once again, this doesn't feel at all like a bad thing. It actually feels kind of exciting. So then when I'm looking here at your first house, which is about your selfhood and how you really present yourself, I'm seeing you coming off in a way that feels very enticing to other people. It may be a little bit odd for sure, but you are being yourself. It's like you're not trying to hide behind something. And even if you are using other things to express yourself, it's not that you're using that in a mask, but you're to mask, yourself, but you're using those additional elements to help express who you really are. All throughout this reading, I get this extra assistance from animals, like quite significantly through here. Lots of different types of animal energies. So you may be, working on that level more, working with energies that feel very basic and can speak symbolically. This is a really beautiful card where there's empowerment here, but it's not overly done. It's just very natural. And it does feel like a youthfulness is with it, which is certainly Aries, energy. Like there's a certain return to innocence and reclaiming something that may make you feel kind of young again and wanting to appear that way. Maybe there's letting go of stressors and just deciding to be in calm, and that could alleviate a lot of the pressure and like the layers and that feeling that we're worn, that sense of aging that comes from the sort of intensity of life and its demands at times. So then as I look here at your second house, which is about values, we have a sense here that really, like this for me really mimics the center card. There seems to be like a lot of activity. This activity feels a little bit more emotional. It could be something that ties into spirituality as well for you, and it could feel a little bit old, and like you've been revisiting something here that maybe kind of came through your ancestry and has you thinking and kind of upturning your emotional attachments to it, your ties to it, and re-examining it. And it's just sort of gone into motion. I really get this energy here of wanting to really revisit something that feels foundational to who you are, that forges or has forged pretty much the crux of your reality, because it is underlying the decisions that you make. It's what you build upon. And you may just want to be looking into like old belief systems and really seeing if they are in alignment with you, or if you want to move some things around in that area. Now looking at your third house, which is about community and communication, I see that you want to be in a state of really becoming, like you want to be the flower, and there may be a lot of energy around you that is trying to you may find yourself amongst like-minded people in a community, in a group of people, and you may all have the the similar pursuit that may not be a collective group, but as a collective it's sort of the same pursuit amongst you all. And I get that you have really achieved something, so you may be able to be the model for something for other people and be able to show them through example the way that you got there. Of course, everyone needs to take their own path, but I just really get that others may be looking to you as an example for something really positive, for something that they may consider a really high achievement for themselves. Although this is a fleeting thing, like with all achievements, you get them and they have their moment and then on to the next thing. So in your home and family position here, even your ancestry, I see that there's a certain comfort that you're taking here, even if the outside world feels a little overly stimulated and, you know, really alive. It feels like the home is able to sort of buffer that for you a little bit and create a sense of calm that may help diffuse the energies going on, so that you're not actually overwhelmed with them, but you can align with all of the activity that may be happening and not, you know, just shut down because it's just, you know, way too much to deal with. I see you pleasantly relaxed. I get the same energy that I got here, where it's like you're not allowing the stressors that really do exist around you, whether they be because new energies are trying to come in or old energies are just outmoded and things are kind of pushing against them to release them. You are in this beautiful state of self-acceptance and acceptance of everything, and just in this wonderful alignment and vulnerability where you don't actually feel threatened within it. So I love seeing that for you. It's really positive, masterful energy. Now, as I look at your 5th house, which is about your assertion of your power in the world and how that's received, and, you know, the regalness, the authority that may be associated with it. Again, I get the energy that I was getting here in your communication zone, where you may be finding yourself in a leadership position. You may be having some command over the thought space for others. Again, it's like you seem to know how to maintain calmness in the thoughts, despite if emotions are really churning and that there's a lot of activity going on. And there's something about like food or resources or harvest or something, like you are protecting that, and you may be preserving. I mean, it's certainly harvest season, so you may be saying, you know, like, you may be showing leadership around this idea of something with, you know, like nurturing oneself, taking care of one's own needs, being calm about it, and really doing it in a way where it's about being in alignment with what you really need. This is such a great, you know, like taking only what you need, preserving what you need, nothing more. I really get the energy. And that is a leadership attribute that is going to need to be performed. Like it really needs to be seen, as opposed to like greed and exploitation of, you know, resources and hoarding and whatnot. So I'm looking now at your 6th house of day-to-day activities, also your health, routines. Again, a beautiful image of you in your calmness, you feeling grounded, you feeling secure. Such a good energy to see during the times that we're in right now. Fantastic. There's a gorgeous, and this really is the card of this position too, the Purity card, very Virgo energy. Balance between the masculine and the feminine energies. And I'm getting called to herbs, so you may be using herbal care. You may understand the power of herbs or just greens in general. You may be gardening. You may be understanding how to start a winter garden. The necessity to grow things for yourself. And you may have the assistance of something that feels a little bit unknown, like you may be being guided basically and not even know it by a protective entity of some sort. But whatever's going on here, the results are absolutely fantastic. And this sort of independent energy that's coming through, which is such a good Aries energy of just really knowing how to take care of yourself, not because it's selfish, but because that's where you get, it's exponential. Like if you are able to really take care of yourself, you can provide for so many more people that actually need you than if you are run down and have such limited resources to really give. So very, very strong message there that's really reinforcing what seems to be kind of emerging here. So here in your 7th house of relationships, justice, balance, receptivity. Again, I see you as very self-contained, very not in want of anything from your environment. Like you seem to be holding your own. You seem to be in your power, and not in a way that's forceful and overbearing, or about using authority for the ego or abusing it, but just understanding that you have personal authority, that we all do, and that this is natural for us, and that this is a state that we're meant to be in. I mean, this is really, Aries can be such good energy for this, of like understanding our real energy that we stand in, like our real selfhood and the importance of that. And I see it in your relationship sector, and that's usually where things get messy. Like, yes, we can get how to deal with ourselves, which is a lot to master. But then if we try to take that outside of who we are and integrate that through relationships, that's when things can get complicated. So I feel here that there's kind of a quietness when it comes to relationships. I don't feel like there's a lot of activity, a lot of interaction with other people so much, and more of an energy of really wanting to know your own ability to master yourself and your reality, and protect that, to hold that, and know what that is, so that it's not easily defied and defiled, perhaps even, so that it can be, so that you can live in a way that's vulnerable, yet still have, a power that is so, it's almost like the innocence that you exude is so protecting for you. It's like it creates like an invisibleness, that shelters you and hides you away from harm. It's just such a beautiful energy. So I encourage you to feel this energy, feel, if you can really look at that card, get in touch with what that feels like to be in that energy. And try to master that and hold that, become that, like meditate on having this sense of calmness and empowerment and self-containment. Now, as I look into your house of, your 8th house of things that are deep, below the surface, they may be hidden, secretive, and an area that gets transformed. This is really intense compared to what I'm seeing here on a more surface level. This feels that like what we're able to see here is because you know at your core who you are. And from that, you can move your energy outwards. And there's nothing coming in or out of this. This is not an energy. Again, feel the energy here. Feel this movement. This isn't about things going on and all chaotic and random and whatnot. This is one energy, and it moves in a spiral. And if you feel that, and if you know that as sort of like an essence that you can tap into energetically, it's not about any other energy around it. It's no other types of movements. This is the movement. This is your energy. Centering to your essence. Okay, so I'm going to look at your 9th house of things that may feel foreign to you, your higher mind, what's outside your comfort zone. And again, I am getting a very calm energy. You may be receiving this from something else, a protective energy around you, which is really helping to bestow this. Or, so similar, like these two are so similar. You may be the source of this for other people. Which again is, you know what I was saying, when we learn, when we become the example for other people, when we have that self-mastery, it's not about being selfish. It's like we become leaders through that. We become examples. We help then create sort of a tower that other people can attune to. And that is an amazing gift to offer other people. It really feels like you are in this energy that understands nature, understands what it takes to unfold, to be part of this natural movement of life, to be in that energy, your true inherent energy that is meant for you to be in. Let's look here now at the 10th house of what you may be achieving, what you may be building, especially if it relates to your legacy or the pinnacle of a career. Again, we're getting kind of this chaotic energy that just sort of may be existing around you, but it's saying you are standing tall above it, and you know, you choose what you want to, what you find nourishing out of that energy. You, it's not like it's just forcefully coming in and out of you and exerting its will on you. It's there on offer. If you want to partake in it, then you choose what you want from it. I see that there is a connection here, like we were getting here, this higher mind. So you just may be so well attuned in your body, in your thoughts, understanding how you're going to let emotions be part of your reality, that it's helping you, it's freeing up energy. When we do that, it's sharing the energy basically, so that we can be fully aligned, so that we can connect to the higher realms. If we put all of our energy into survival, there's no room to have energy to connect to anything that wants to communicate with us, that's beyond us. So you may be really now kind of stepping into that, really learning how powerful that is for you, and necessary that this element is part of your life, and it may be helping you to feel movement, to take maybe some journeys sort of spiritually, and find some adventure there. So even if you're kind of doing some downtime, some alone time, I feel like you're really traveling far as like other dimensions go. Now your 11th house of humanitarian pursuits, as well as sort of your independence relative to the collective. Oh, it's funny that I mentioned like the animal thing, because there is just, it's like the wheel of life here. There's so many different animals in this. And I think, as I look through this, like animals, when we work with them, they're so great as examples of they're programmed to do kind of what they do. They keep it really simple. They know how to be in their energy. They know their routines. They know how to interact with their environment. And there's not a lot of unnecessary energies that they're interacting with. They keep it very basic. And I see that, that there may be, that you've learned that, you learned what it is to be the type of being that you are, and that everything has its way of being, and that there's a respect for that. And so you may have spent a great deal of time learning that, and now you're able to have some mastery with that. But I also get this live and let live energy off of this, especially speaking to the humanitarian and like the individual in relation to the collective. Yes, we're all one, but we all need to be ourselves as part of this. And we need to be ourselves in a way that isn't trying to exert power and things outside of our domain. Like, we need to respect our place in the greater reality. And then looking here at the 12th house energy of really where we can transcend and be in a place of more of like the collective consciousness. Of course, there are polarities to all this too that we could get into, but I just kind of want to see what comes through. Again, a very calm energy, and through that calmness, it's protecting. You may be protecting other people. You very well may be. You may be protecting your family and things younger than you, but also just your innocence. You may be protecting your own true nature, your own inner child, and learning how to be the mother. So that's just like kind of full circle for me, like with this, throughout this whole thing, as we're seeing, there were hints of this innocence coming through, and also, kind of mastering yourself. So for me, it's like you've learned how to maintain, the child within you, and to be the mother to that child. That is gorgeous energy to see. And, and not only, mother, but mother in a way that feels enlightened, that feels like it's connected to some purpose that's just inspired beyond survival mode. So I love this. Thank you, Aries, for sharing this reading with me. It was an absolute pleasure to do it for you. I wish you well during our Libra season, and please join me. I have lots of other videos and playlists that you can find them on my channel, so please feel free to partake in any of those. You guys take care.